a new bill that reverses cuts to Medicaid and prevents health insurance premiums from rising. The shutdown could have far-reaching consequences for Americans coast to coast. For more on this, let's bring in our ABC Business reporter Alexis Christoforous. So Alexis, let's go back in time. The last government shutdown was in December 2018 during the president's first administration. It was also the longest shutdown in U.S. history at 35 days. Back then, what were the economic impacts of the shutdown?
Yeah, Selena, you're right. So the longest shutdown in U.S. history was the most recent. It was a partial shutdown, and according to the Congressional Budget Office, it shaved 0.4% off of economic growth. Prior to that, we had a shutdown in 2013 that lasted 16 days. That was a full shutdown and actually caused economic growth to contract by 0.6%. So, the longevity of a shutdown is really key here, and whether or not it's partial or a full shutdown. Selena.
Yeah, so Alexis, I know a lot depends on timing, and this time's a little bit different with these potential mass firings. But this time around, what kind of economic impact could Americans expect to see?
Right, and that's what everybody's asking. How will it impact me? Well, we're going to run through a few of the ways it may impact you. I want to make very clear, though, that Social Security payments, Medicare and Medicaid payments will continue. So again, retirees and the disabled who are dependent on Social Security will continue to get paid, and those who are dependent on health benefits from Medicare and Medicaid will get paid. Now, the U.S. Postal Service is actually independently funded, so it would not be impacted by a shutdown. And then, of course, those essential workers, U.S. military, border protection, air traffic control, and airport security workers will be on the job. However, they will be furloughed, meaning they will not be getting paid. They will get paid retroactively once the government reopens. This could mean delays if you're traveling in the not too distant future. At risk here, I want to run down these real quickly. National parks would most likely close, including any federally run museums, including the Smithsonian museums there in Washington, D.C. SNAP and WIC benefits. These are food programs that low-income and disabled folks depend on, also mothers with young children and infants. Those payments would continue, but they would fade the longer a shutdown continues. Also, passport processing will continue, but could experience big delays. You might also see delays in getting a small business loan or an FHA housing loan. And also really important here, Selena, the release of economic reports would be stopped by the U.S. government, meaning the Friday's big jobs report wouldn't be released. The inflation report due out later this month, depending on how long the shutdown lasts, would not be released. That leaves the Federal Reserve sort of flying blind when it comes to what to do with monetary policy and whether or not to cut interest rates at their October meeting. So I think the long and short of it is the longer it lasts, the more disruptive this government shutdown would become.
That is such a good point. And I was actually just speaking to the policy director of WIC, who said they've got about a week of wiggle room. Then after that, some states could start cutting off benefits for those low-income families. So, Alexis, thank you for all of that context.